Hello everyone, welcome to my review of Transformers Studio Series number 53, Voyager class Revenge of the Fallen Mixmaster, the third of the RNG choice Constructicons that I will be reviewing over the course of the month of July. And Mixmaster, weirdly enough, design-wise, is so weird. But I've always wanted a figure of him. Now, he was one of the rare characters to actually get a figure in the actual Transformers Revenge of the Fallen toy line. I was never able to obtain said figure, but I've always thought that he looked pretty cool, actually, but also really weird. But also, he didn't really do anything outside of turn into a gun, which this one can't, and also get killed by Jetfire. But then he came back in Dark of the Moon and the video game. And that is what I know Mixmaster the most out of, being an actual prick in that game. Especially with these mixing drums as well. So then, let us go look straight at this guy with his nice, very silver and black detailed face sculpt right there. Looking very, very nice. No, they didn't really paint his eyes though, but whatever. And then he's got this weird body, and then if you really want to talk about weird, look at these arms, dude. These arms are so weird. They are basically made out of the mixing drums and also the back of the truck, but still, they look really, really strange. They look so weird. And then finally, he's got the skinniest legs on the planet and the whole cap of the truck in the back here because... Hello. Yeah, this guy will form the head of Devastator, and he is also carrying that head. He is always ahead of the game. But this is such a weird looking figure, but I also very much like it, really. One problem, this doesn't tab in. This thing just supposed to just sit up here, and it doesn't tab in. It kind of holds it together really, but like, it just sometimes likes to droop a bit, as you can see on this side as well. And look at that silverness on the mixing drums as well. But he is a very weird and awkward looking guy. But overall, he actually looks pretty cool. I mean, yes, he has basically the front of the truck on his back because that forms the head of Devastator. And there's not really a lot of transforming that you can do. But outside of that, he actually looks pretty unique. I've always liked the Michael Bay designs for their uniqueness. Yes, you could say that all the colorations of all these characters all look the same, you know, they're all gray blobs, but still, they are very, very nice. Now then, for accessories for this little guy himself, he doesn't have any. Sadly enough, he doesn't come with anything because of the fact that, you know, what's he supposed to come with? I mean, they didn't really figure out a way in order to make part of the truck be like guns like they did with Skipjack. So he comes with nothing, which kind of makes that segment... that segment is a segment that I really love to do, looking at accessories, but I can't do it now. Dang it. So I guess we'll skip that and immediately go into the articulation segment. So then, his head can go up and down. As you can see here, he has some bubbling here on the head, but also he has some left and right, but then it's on like a weird angle as well. The left and right is like on a weird angle. He does that dog thing just like the other one did. It's just like a bit weird how he just like... He goes up with his head when he wants to move it to the side, but whatever. Then his arms can go down for the... you know, transformation, but you might be able to use that. Well, actually, that's not really for transformation. It just does this. Maybe it's for transformation into hit mode. Then his arms can move forward right here, backwards as well, right down here. If you move the drum here, which can actually get out of the way, you can move it in and out. You also have a swivel here and a bend at the elbow, technically, down here as well. Stay up there, will ya? Moving this guy around is a bit of a pain sometimes. And with sometimes, I mean all of the times. And then his hand, his weird hand, which kind of looks like a foot, to be honest, can move up and down as well for articulation. He has no waist articulation. But also, to anyone who is a bit upset about that, you have to understand that these figures, these Constructicons, came out during a time where articulation wasn't the main focus. However, this is actually the first guy to actually have some legs and feet, so the legs can go forward and they can go back on a weird angle as well, as you can see. In and out, you have a swivel up here, you got a knee bend right there, and then his feet can go up and down. No ankle pivot, but like I said, it was like 2020, so that wasn't really the full focus at all. Man, it feels so weird saying that 2020 was like 5 years ago, but it was. What do you want from me? But overall, he has some nice articulation, but also he has some awkwardness because, of course, he does. He is a Constructicon after all, and he's designed like this. Awkwardness also. And also, by the way, you can also move this up and down as well, the back cannon. So then, with that being said, I think we should move straight into the articulation segment. So let me bring in the leaders themselves. So here we have Mixmaster together with Megatron, Starscream, and the fallen Megatronus Prime, which that's not actually what he was called, but he's called later that, you know, in later media. But there he is with all of them, and also the angle of the fallen is a little bit like he's about to fall over. But he is an old man. But he looks very nice with these guys, so let's bring in the boys! So here we have the Constructicons all together with Scavenger almost falling over because he is impossible to stand up. I cannot wait to be done with these reviews so I don't have to touch that figure anymore. But overall, they look very nice together. So let's get them out of here for the final size comparison. And also something that I kind of forgot, but here he is next to Ironhide. And if you're wondering why I am picking Ironhide of all figures to be size comparison with him, for those who know, you know, and for those who don't know, let me explain. So, you remember that little tidbit that I did at the beginning about the Dark of the Moon video game? Yeah, you play as Ironhide when you fight this big guy with his drums being able to block him. You play as Ironhide, and that is why I have this size comparison. I had this planned for a while, but they actually don't look too bad next to each other. So let's get you out of here as well. So now let's go into the final size comparison with Shockwave and Soundwave. And this size comparison actually not all that weird because these characters both appeared in the Dark of the Moon video game, so it works anyway. But yeah, here he is with them looking very nice as well. So let's get them out of here, and then let's pull Mixmaster in a bit closer, and then let's get straight into that transformation. All right, so let's get good old-fashioned Mixmaster here transformed into his vehicular form. So what you want to start off with is you want to take the this thing here and just push it out a bit, double hinge it out, double hinge this big thing out of the way, so that we can rotate this around, rotate this up, and align this perfectly. It will tab somehow to go. Oh, wait, there's a little bit of a tab here. The tiniest tab is going to sit in that slot right there. So you basically just want to take that and sit that in that slot so that this whole thing is aligned. Then what you want to do is you want to come in here and rotate this out, but not up. Because what you're actually supposed to do is there is a tab, it's too shiny, tab right there. That's going to sit into the slot right there. So basically you want to take this and just tap that into the slot right there, and then you want to fold out this back piece as well, and then just kind of get this all aligned with this thing here. Also rotate this hand up, but get this all aligned and tapped together like so. There you go, that's one done. Also you can fold this in, but then do it on the other side as well. So fold this thing out, rotate this around, get this into position, rotate this in and on itself, and then get the tab in there. After that, what you want to do is you want to tab these two pieces here together like so, and then lift the hand up. This is the step that I normally forgot, so I'm doing that immediately right now. And then also take the head and fold it in here as well, just to get that out of the way. There you go. Now then, you want to untap this piece here and rotate it up. Also take these pieces and rotate them down. They are going to form the smokestacks of the truck mode. And then take this and kind of like fold this up as well, like so. Then what you want to do is you want to take the inner hinge here on the legs and rotate them so that the legs are closer together, like so. And then rotate this all the way around like so. And tap the feet here, well, the legs together. Yeah, there you go. Tap that all together. Rotate this around, rotate this around. And now I think you can kind of see what you need to do. You need to rotate this in. And then this tab down here is going to slide into one of these two slots back here. So you basically just want to take this, line this up, and it's actually the most bottom slot. You want to tap that together, do the same thing on the other side, get it around everything, there you go. Tap the back piece here together, then also tap all of this together, tap the whole leg assembly together like so. Make sure everything taps together, and then it seems here we have Mixmaster in his truck mode. So here we have Mixmaster in his mixing truck mode. Looking very nice. However, mine is a little bit wobbly, so maybe there was something off about the transformation. I have no idea. Maybe it's just the cab not being plugged in enough. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, here he is in his mixing truck mode and looking very nice. However, before anyone asks, no, the wheel does not spin. Did you not see the transformation? Did you skip the transformation? Are you one of those people who skips transformations? This whole thing just cannot spin. I think actually on the original Revenge of the Fallen Voyager class figure, the barrel actually did spin, but I have no actual information on that, so I cannot confirm that. However, I do am left with a tiny little gap here at the front, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But overall, he looks actually really nice with his hands kind of poking out at the back. But let's be honest here, it feels like that is nowadays truck worthy, because a lot of trucks that had that, they either had the hands or the feet poking out of the back of the truck. Usually it was actually the feet, so at least Mixmaster's trying to be a little bit original, because the feet are actually hidden in here, but the hands are not, even though the hands did look like feet. But still, overall, he looks very nice. So let's get a close here on the actual details, starting off with this thing here. This actually molded after the Decepticon symbol, kind of like how it was in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. Very nice that they added that to the truck. You got the nice grill here at the front so that it can go do some plowing through, I don't know, you. Then also we got the nice windows right here, very nicely painted as well. The nice paint here, we got the nice silver wheels. And it seems like the back wheels no, they don't really look like they are pinned on. I was wrong. But yeah, but we got the nice wheels here, we got the gas tank here, we got the mixing drum here. One bad part though, no Decepticon symbol, because like, I don't actually remember if that was in the movie, but unlike the figure, it was like the biggest Decepticon symbol you ever saw was on the mixing drum, so I kind of wish that was here too. But even you got the detail here for the mixing cement that pours out over your dead body, and also code here as well for some reason, don't get why. But even the back doesn't look all that awful. Yes, he's got his hands poking out of the sides here, but I don't know, I like to see those as back horns or something like that. But still, overall, he is a nice looking guy. He even got like a spare wheel in here. And then under here, this is just what he looks like. He's just there. He's just there on the underside. But overall, a very nice looking mixing truck, especially with the fact that, you know, this thing still has to turn into the head of Devastator. So it is actually very nice how they were able to get both Mixmaster and the truck out in overall pretty accurate form. The only thing they really had to sacrifice was that gun mode, but let's be honest here, I don't really care, and maybe, just maybe, I don't actually know, but maybe there's a way for you to get the gun mode out of this guy, because sometimes fans are able to do it, but I have no idea. But overall, he looks very nice. Even the details in here look very nice. So then, let us move then straight into, well, I mean, he rolls. He can roll. That is basically all he has, because he has no accessories, so that's comparison time. Starting off here, he is with the leaders of the Decepticons, Starscream and Megatron. Looking very nice with them, and potentially in scale, but to be honest, I only kind of need a relative scale for myself for it to work. Because of the fact that, like, actually in scale, I don't know if it's fully in scale. And to be honest, how does this thing scale anyway? It's not even real. This thing doesn't exist because it's a Cybertronian mode. But anyway, let's get these guys out of here and bring in the squad. So here we have them all very nicely together. Look at them all. Wow, this is actually really cool. I'm so happy that I have all of them, because they look really good together. Yes, some of them have problems, like, you know, I've already talked about Scavenger having some issues, but Long Haul has his hands poking out, which I will talk about in that Long Haul review. Coming out eventually, it all depends on the RNG. But overall, they all look pretty nice together. So let's get these guys out of here, shall we? And here he is next to Kit from Knight Rider. Looking very nice together, but also, Kit, you are way too big for this, but who cares? I don't really care. And here we have him next to Ironhide as well, from the Dark of the Moon video game. I mean, that's what I'm reminded of right now, but they look very nice together. Ironhide probably is still too big, but I don't care. He's Ironhide. He can be as big as he wants to be. And here we got Mixmaster for the final size comparison next to Soundwave and Shockwave, looking very nice together as well. So let's pull Mixmaster closer and get ready for that reverse transformation. So let's get Mixmaster back into his robotic mood. So what you want to start off with is very simple. You basically just want to split this and, well, okay, not like that, but you can actually open it. Nom nom nom. You can open it like that, but still, I meant just splitting it around the feet. Kind of get this out of here. Come on, untap from the foot, and split this all the way off to the side. Afterwards, what you can do with the legs is you can rotate them out, and then on here rotate them down and fold the foot all the way out, and there you go. Pair of legs is completely done for the good old-fashioned buddy of mine. So now what you want to do is you want to take this piece here and rotate it around. Just get it out of the way. The smokestacks, get them out of the way so that we can then rotate this, but also make sure that the head kind of rotates with us. Get the head out from in there as well, I guess. It's an annoying little thing sometimes, but get the head out. Anyway, back here there is a tab that goes to a slot right there. So you basically want to take this and tab it in as well. There you go. Get the head fully straightened out. Come on. There you go, get it fully out like so. And there you go. And then finally what you can do with this is also rotate this up a bit. I see a lot of people pull this up, so we'll pull this up, why not? And there you go. Then what you want to do with the arms is you want to rotate it. And then untap the arms from in here and also up here. And rotate it down like so. Rotate this whole thing around. Take the arm and untap it and rotate it down and also in, kind of like that. Then what you want to do is you want to undo this drum thing from in here and rotate it around as well. Fold down the hand and one arm is done. Do the same thing on the other side. So take the drum here, rotate it all the way around, fold down the hand, and hand number 2 is done as well. Great. Then what you want to do with these shoulder pieces is just double hinge them in and also fold this piece in as well and then leave it like so. Do the same thing on the other side. So just double hinge this in. Come on. And then finally, after all is said and done, here you have the legend of the Mixing Master back in his robotic mood. So Mixmaster, my friend, who was very difficult to take out in the Transformers Dark of the Moon video game. Without the help from Q, I was never gonna be able to do it. What do I think about you? Well, I like him. I do. I think that his weird design actually works, and I'm very impressed with the fact of what Hasbro was able to do with this guy. Being able to get this design into a truck, but also being able to be part of Devastator. Very big fan of that. Does he have some issues here and there? Yes, he does, but also that is kind of part of the design. Is he lacking articulation? Yes, but that is part of the times, you know? They didn't really care about all that stuff. They didn't really care about super heavily articulated figures. They just wanted a good looking figure that can do the modes, and he can do the modes, and I am very happy about that. But is he worth the aftermarket prices? Nobody is. What do you want from me? But is he worth a pickup? Well, that's kind of where the problem comes into play. Because while I like him and I love his weird design elements, he is still part of that Devastator set. So if you're not really going for the Devastator set, is this guy a worthy pickup? I would say for Voyager class price point, yeah. I think he's actually a pretty fun figure. But there are better Voyager class figures out there. So unless you are a big fan of Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, which feels like it's supposed to be illegal if you go onto Twitter. But I like Revenge of the Fallen. It's a stupid movie, but I like it for that. And I'm happy getting a lot of designs. So I think he's a pretty cool figure, and I think he is definitely worth a pickup if you like figures from Revenge of the Fallen. However, like I said, Voyager class price point. Let's not go past that, shall we? But that has been my review of Transformers Studio Series number 53, Voyager class Revenge of the Fallen Mixmaster. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell and comment your thoughts on this figure. And please check out my Let's Play channel, linked in the description and at the end of the video. I upload 3 videos every day of different games, but mainly Pokemon. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye!